Well, good morning. So, you might have lost your job, you're over 50, and your 5-year plan is out the window. Now you're just wondering what you're going to do on Monday morning. Well, welcome to Monday morning. I've been exactly in your shoes, and I just want to tell you honestly why consulting might be the best thing for you, and how I actually built my consulting business from scratch, and this is how I did it. The big problem, as you probably noticed from the intro to this video, is that everybody and their uncle on YouTube wants to tell you how to make $1 million or how to make $50,000 a month or how to make $10,000 a month, and you can spend hours going down those rabbit holes. And I know how you feel because I felt the exact same way that you do, and what I found was that if I focused on one thing that I did really well, that I would be able to continuously move forward. Just like when I was training for the Ironman, I always said I had a vision of where I was trying to get to. I had a process I had to follow as a recipe, and then I just had to look for the proof that I was moving forward. Well, the same thing holds true in consulting. Consulting today isn't what it used to be. There are new income streams that we couldn't even have conceived of 10 years ago. When I first started my consulting business 30 years ago, I was an import marketer and I was bringing in products from all over the globe to retailers all across Canada. That business model has changed. Amazon changed that business model. And today, what would have cost me hundreds of dollars to bring products in offshore into Canada now costs pennies on the dollar. It's literally insane. But the world has changed. And today what I want to do is just share a little bit of my story about how I started from nothing the second time around. And when I say nothing, I'm saying it cost me virtually nothing to get started, but I had years of experience, much like you do, and that was my big advantage. So if you're feeling like you're being left behind, if you're feeling stuck, this is your opportunity to move forward. What I hope you're going to take away from this video is that you do have an opportunity to get unstuck. In life, we're in one of three places, right? We're either moving forward, we're stuck, or we're falling behind. And when you first get let go from your job, or you lose your job, you get stuck. You're not sure what to do. And when you realize that for the over 50 crowd, it's not as easy to get a job, your experience is one thing, and that's why consultancy might be the right avenue for you, because people will pay for your experience. They may just not want to have you on a full-time payroll. That's what I found. So I looked at what I knew how to do. I looked at the skill sets that I had, and for me it was managing HubSpot, it was managing Salesforce, it was managing a CRM. And I looked around in my local community. I found an industry where there were enough customers that could sustain a business for a consulting business, and I simply asked the question, do these businesses have somebody on staff who understands what a CRM is, understands how to do email campaigns cost effectively, understands how to capture contact data from customers they might otherwise be losing, how to create workflows that create efficiencies, how to create AI tools that answer phones that people can chat with, which generate new income streams because not everybody feels comfortable picking up the phone. What I did was I took what I already knew and I applied that to some new skills, but the real catch is I'm not promising the moon. And I think what can happen is if you look at all these like make $10,000 in a month videos, that is like doom scrolling. Rarely will you find somebody that you connect with on a real human level. This person has been in my shoes. They get where I'm coming from. They understand where I've been. That's what I'm trying to do for you right now, is if you find yourself in this position where you are struggling to move forward, I want to show you a path how to get there. Now, if you're thinking that consulting is something for other people, that's something that other people do, let me tell you really what consulting is. Consulting might be my niece who does eyelashes for a living. She has her own business. She consults women on how to put fake eyelashes on, and she does it for them. My son is an industrial health and safety consultant. He goes to he has contracts through his employer and goes to large corporations like GM and Ontario Power, and he administers health and safety at those facilities. He is consulting that other company, not on payroll. He comes in, does his thing, and leaves again. Other consultants come in, they look for efficiencies in the business. They agree to a price, they do their audit, and they come back with recommendations. Other people come in and say, hey, you may have a skill set that is in high demand right now, but you may not have anybody on staff who's capable of doing that. This is how I can fill that gap for you. That's the approach that I take. I also have skills in event management and in organizing triathlon events, global triathlon events. So I get hired on a weekend basis to go for 3 days to travel to help set up, run, and tear down triathlon events. That's a consultant. A plumber who comes to your door is a consultant. They're consulting you on how you should fix the plumbing in your house. My massage therapist is a consultant, right? And every time they're with a customer, they lose the opportunity to connect with the person who might be trying to reach them because they're being very client-facing. They're talking to the person in front of them as they should be, but they need somebody on the back end of that to answer the phone and to answer any communications that are coming in automatically. That's the advantage of having AI tools in a CRM like High Level. That's why if you ever consider being a consultant, I've got 3 approaches I'd like you to consider. Now, if you're saying to yourself, hey, wait a minute, I don't know anything about CRMs, HubSpot, Salesforce, High Level, I don't even understand what that is. Look, if you're gonna run a business, somebody's gotta answer the phone. Somebody's gotta answer any communications, whether they be chat or email. And if you can build tools that create efficiencies and can do that for you, that frees you up to earn more money. You become less of a bottleneck in your own business. The big objection most people have about becoming a consultant is it's very, very, very overwhelming, or a small business owner. And when it comes to High Level, you've got 3 options. And this is how I would approach it. In my 35 years of sales and marketing experience, I spent the last 10 years embedded in HubSpot, running HubSpot for a software company and managing that for the sales team. So I really got to understand how efficient a CRM could be for a small business. But when I left that company and came to High Level, what I did was I joined in the SaaS program, the most expensive, highest tier, because, I got caught up in the momentum and I thought, I'm setting my sights up here. This is where I need to be. I'm invested, I'm all in. And in doing that, I made some mistakes. One of the mistakes I made was that I didn't need to be at that SaaS level. The 297 software works exactly the same. I can have unlimited sub-accounts, meaning that I can have unlimited clients running inside that software as well. I can do everything except bill them directly in the rebilling section, which means I could make a profit on things that I might upsell them, like email communications or AI services or a number of different things the software has to offer. But that's not how I do business. I basically use those as pass-through charges to my clients. I charge my clients a monthly retainer for my marketing services. I provide them with guidance and experience. It's a nominal amount that they can afford on a monthly basis, and I show them ROI by either delivering on email campaigns or adding to their contact database in the CRM. There's a number of different things we can do to demonstrate that we're creating return on investment. And I always say, if I can give you $1 and you give me 2 back, I'm going to do that deal all day long. So that's really how I position this. I don't say, hey, here's a whole bunch of software, this is going to help your business. I say, hey, if you gave me $1 and I gave you 2 back, would that be a good deal? Would you continue to do business with me? There are very few people who are going to say no. The people who are going to say no are the people who are scared of change. They're scared of the digital transformation that is required to go from an analog business to a digital business. And that can be scary. So that's a real objection that people are going to have when it comes to automations. But you as a business owner, You don't have to come in at the $497 SaaS level. You don't have to come in at the $297 agency level. You can come in at the $97 high-level client account level and get to know the software. And that's what I would recommend you do. If you're running a small business or you're running a consulting agency, run the software for your business. Get to know the software. And then once you understand what the software can do for you, then you can start recommending that to others who also could benefit from having that software, who also could benefit from additional revenue. Now, if you're new to this channel and you're new to me, my name is Dave Bazanko. I am an Ironman triathlete. I've been in business for 35 years, owning a sales and marketing, import marketing company. I have also had a bit of a stint in the corporate world for 10 years, working for a global training company and then a software company after that. I've got about 10 years experience working with HubSpot and running HubSpot for a sales team. And what I want to do today is just welcome you into my community. If you find yourself 50 plus, you know how hard it is if you've been displaced from your job, how hard it is to get another job. And you may not have a sales background. That doesn't matter. You may not have a business background. That really doesn't matter. If you have a skill set and you've continued to learn and you have a growth mindset and you have the attitude that I'm going to be a lifelong learner, this might be the right opportunity for you. And what I'm going to share with you is that I'm now making $6,000 monthly recurring revenue. I did that in about 6 months' time. I didn't do it out of the gate. It took time to get there, and I learned a lot of things about my customers along the way. I also learned something called the law of diffusion of innovation, which I guess I knew that from marketing, but it held up true in this market as well, because the first 10% of the market were really easy. These are the people who were open to change. These are people who were willing to let me come in and show them what I could do. The rest of the market know who I am, but they don't trust me. And they don't know me that well, and they may not even like me because I represent change. But who they do know, like, and trust are their peers. And their peers are starting to talk to them. And so now they're just trying to figure out when is the right time. So for me, a lot of the conversations I have with my clients is, when is the right time that we can start introducing baby steps of a digital transformation into their business? And when we can understand and knock down a time, that's really all I'm selling to them is, you give me $1, I'll give you 2 back. When are you ready to get started? I'm going to say it took about 6 months before being this type of a consultant, not an import marketer, but now I'm actually selling business services to small businesses. It took about 6 months for me to feel like this is a real business. And I keep kind of pinching myself and sitting back and saying, yes, this is not only providing monthly recurring revenue, because those AI services are plugged into the business. That is what is generating revenue for the most part for my clients, or what is saving them money from having to buy and utilize other softwares. So they want to have the software in their business because it's either saving them money, creating efficiencies for them, or it's making them money. All good things. However, I'm at the point in my business where I get to make a choice. Do I want to continue to grow with actual consulting clients, or do I want to serve that group who were loyal to me in the beginning really, really well and teach what I've learned to other people who might be in a similar place that I am, so that I can teach them how to do what I'm doing? I think that is so far removed from everything that I'm seeing on the internet. Everything on the internet is, oh, it's so easy, just do this. Oh yes, there's going to be work, but just do this and you'll make 10,000, you'll make, like, I got these guys that I follow on YouTube, and I'm not going to name names. I love watching the content. I love the business ideas, but you can't keep going down every single rabbit hole. You have to pick your lane, and you have to stay in your lane, and you have to be an expert in your lane if you want this to work for you. You have to be consistent. You can't just keep chasing everything. And right now, I'm being consistent to my core clients, and I'm growing the affiliate side of my business. And I'm learning how to communicate with other people in my shoes who find themselves in similar circumstances, might be just a year behind me, and saying, shit, what do I do now? Right? I had that aha moment again in my career where I went, what am I going to do Monday morning? So right now I can tell you that my customers are my biggest references. They absolutely see value in everything that I'm doing. And the best part about this business is that I'm never chasing money. In my previous business, I had to give people terms of 90 days. I had to chase money after that. In this business, software, guess what? You got to put your credit card on the dotted line to get the free trial. And then as soon as you decide you don't want this anymore, it's very simple. You just cancel your credit card, cancel your subscription, but you don't get access to the service. And if you're showing value to people, they want access to the service. So you're always going to get paid. That's the best part about this. The only time I've run into a situation where I didn't get paid, maybe my client's credit card got overextended and their account got paused. Did it automatically. And they're like, Dave, why can't I get into my account? Your credit card expired. What would you like me to tell you? You know, this is something that I think that I had one client very upset with me because over the course of a weekend, their credit card expired, their account got paused. And I think the learning lesson there is really it is on me. I should go in and see when their credit cards expire. I don't need to have a pissed off client because that happened. And they were quite pissed off because they thought I should be on top of when their credit card expires. Yeah, it wasn't on my list of to-do things to do that week to check everybody's expiry date, but now I've got a spreadsheet that says this is when their credit cards expire. And in that spreadsheet, I've created a workflow. And in that workflow, inside of High Level, it's a notification that says, hey, customer X, your credit card is going to expire in 30 days, and it sends them a reminder, and it sends me a reminder. That's the beautiful part about High Level, is you can create workflows for just about anything, so you don't have to rely on your memory to be efficient. So if you're on my funnel page that is built and delivered through High Level, you're watching this right now on YouTube, or you might be watching it on the funnel page, there is a video probably on one of these two sides of me that you might want to watch next, because it's going to tell you how our service works, how my affiliate program works, and how you can be a part of my community. So we'll see you in that video.
What do you think, Ralph? Was that a good one? Oh, was it super boring? I don't know. I think it was a good video. What do you think? You don't look impressed.